Hey guys, Full on Rage here. I'm going to be doing a breakdown slash analysis of one of my recent posts, one of my recent matches that I put on the tube. This is a recommendation and a request from one of our subs. He wanted us to go into a little bit of the mindset and the reason why I made some of the choices I made. And basically, we're going to go into why they worked out, why I did what I did at the times that I did them, and how it ultimately resulted in the win for us. So, starting off, you can see I go first, and what I end up having is one scout, two vipers. This is one of those rare instances where your first hand is just one scout and two vipers, and you kind of have to get lucky at that point. You could very, very easily get unlucky, and there's not a single card in the trade row that costs one coin. You could easily be in a situation where every single card is two or more, and your first hand is basically a waste. I mean, you're going to do your two little damage, but you're really going to lose in the long term. But in my case, I got it lucky. There was a Federation shuttle here for one coin, so we went with that. Now he goes with the freighter, great card, and he also has a Federation shuttle. So he's going to be going blue right off the bat. He has economy right off the bat, very very powerful economy with that freighter being being the 4 coin one, and then if you pair it with another blue, then you have the ability to put your next ship right at the top of your deck. You're going to see he does that a number of times. My next hand here, I have 5 scouts. And what I decide to do is, instead of going for that patrol mech, that is something I usually like to go for. You can see the patrol mech comes out here. Great card as well, especially starting off, because you're going to get that 3 coin. That's almost a 4 coin, you know? And then for later in the game, you transition over and you grab the 5 damage. Plus, if you get lucky and you pair it with another red, you could do you some scrapping, which I always love to do. But in my case, I know that I'm not really going to be able to beat him outright with economy, because he's already starting with this clear advantage with the economy, especially if he ends up hitting it, you know? So what I do is I want to utilize all my coins in this. Now, if he had some damage cards, if he had like this in his deck already or whatever, I wouldn't make the choice I make right now. But because I know that every single card he has acquired so far is economy only, it's 2 blue cards and the only thing they give is money, no damage, I feel very safe in grabbing this trading post. Because if I get lucky and it comes out quickly, he needs to do 4 damage for that to get knocked down. He only has 2 vipers. That's the maximum he's doing in a hand right now. He's going to be doing 2 damage. So if I get lucky, this comes out quick. It might sit for a couple of rounds, and that'll kind of even the playing field, knowing that he has that economic advantage right now. But with this, I can now even the playing field a little bit. Plus, I'll be able to pair it with that other blue card that I got, right? And then I go with an Explorer, again, because I see some good cards here. I want to be able to grab some stuff. And basically, we just start grabbing. He gets some scrap, you know, the typical early starting cards. Then I come out and I start grabbing my scrap cards. And boom, he hits it right off the bat. He gets his 2 blue pair, which means that the next ship he acquires is going to go right to the top of the deck. Now, what I probably would have done, to be honest with you, I would have probably gotten that blob ship, the one that he just got, and threw to the top of his deck. If you see, he grabs the blob destroyer and puts it right to the top of his deck to start dishing out some damage. Though, with the amount of money he has, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I would have grabbed this and put it to the top of my deck. Why? Because I want to be able to utilize the coin. I want to gobble up some good cards and a lot of cards. And I know that I'm going to have a discard pile, because once I'm done with this hand, where are these cards going? Right here. So I'll put that right on top, and I'll start scrapping down my deck. Because I love scrapping down the deck. I love making a very, very efficient deck. A perfect deck would be 5 cards that are all draw cards and do 10 damage apiece, you know? You wouldn't even have any of these other scouts or vipers, anything like that. So you want to start getting rid of your weaker cards right away. And then I would have still gotten this, so I can start dishing out damage. But I'd rather go for that efficiency and start gobbling up some more cards. But he decides to go and put the Blob Destroyer right on top, dish out damage right away. Maybe he might be doing that, to be honest, in response to the fact that he knows that my base is going to be coming out, right? So he might be doing that because he wants to put out the damage, And he starts grabbing some other stuff here. I go with that recycle station because what I start realizing is that, again, he's going to have an economic advantage on me, right? And he's not choosing to go scrap heavy right now. So if I can scrap heavy with the recycle center to cycle through my deck quick, that might give me the advantage, So again, he did play the right move, though, because, actually, no, he didn't time that right, actually. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, like I said, that Trading Post comes out. He doesn't have anything to respond to it, but what he does get is that very scary Brain World. Very, very powerful card, and if you get it early, oof, it's just deadly. It's just deadly, and if you end up letting it sit out there for a little while, very bad. Very bad. I'm actually going to slow this down a little bit, so we can track things a little bit better here. So I start scrapping. I start grabbing some more stuff. I want to start throwing some aggressive stuff in there, so I grab that yellow card to pair with my base, and then he comes out swinging. He's paired up with his reds. He's got his blobs. Like I said, I think his deck has the advantage right now, for sure. Especially with that Brain World he's got sitting in there. It's not looking good for me. I know I need to cycle through my deck because I need to start hitting my cards quick. My only chance is to just keep hitting him, keep getting stuff, because I'm trailing behind him, and boom, he hits another freighter. This is not looking good for me. And this hand is also just nothing special is going on with this. But I get lucky. I hit the 2 yellows. That's powerful because that gives me a nice amount of damage, 9 damage, plus make him discard a card, right? And I think those are my only 2 yellow cards besides the recycle center, which, pairing that doesn't really do anything for us. So the fact that I hit those 2, that's a nice little lucky break I get. Actually, I did have another yellow card. But this is nice. I'll be able to scrap before I draw my next hand. Oh, and he throws that doozy of a green card right to the top of his deck. And this is where he basically just starts proceeding to pummel me. He throws that Brain World out there. I start shitting my pants. He starts doing damage. But I have enough. This is key. I have enough to take out that base, which is absolutely vital. Now, even though I could have had 4 coin total, the coin here, the 2 scouts I just scrapped, plus from here, I could have had 4. But I decided to go for the scrapping of the 2 scouts in the hand because I know with this powerful card, with this powerful Brain World, okay, he is going to be able to out-scrap me. There's no way that I'm going to out-scrap him if I don't take advantage of every scrap opportunity that I get. So I decided to play these 2 cards and scrap these 2 cards instead of getting 4 money, because I'd rather have a very efficient deck of good cards than a deck that's not efficient but has some great cards sprinkled in, which is basically what he ends up having. He ends up having a deck that has very powerful cards, but it's not efficient enough to contend with what my deck becomes later on. Now, I also want to point out that I did get lucky here in these 2 guys paired, but even if it didn't, I would have sacrificed this base right here to do an extra 3 damage to take him out, depending on if I had different cards, right? If I had the opportunity, if I didn't have these cards pair and I had a different card come out, and I had the opportunity to use that 3 to just get me over that edge to get rid of that Brain World, I most definitely would have done that, because we cannot let that Brain World sit out there. That would spell absolute disaster for me. Not that things are looking that good right now, because look at this health right here, 49 to 23. I'm less than half of what he has. it's already looking like disaster, but we can't let him seal the deal, with that Brain World sitting out there. That would not be good. So I throw out the battle station here. I got the patrol mech. I scrap a little bit of cards as well. Again, even though we have to take it from the hand, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with sacrificing from the hand. It is a trade-off. You might not always want to do it, because I could have had potentially 3, 4, 5, right? I could have maybe gotten this and another thing, whatever this. But I decide to go, aggressive with the scrapping and going that route because I have to make a deck that's more efficient than him. That's the only way I'm gonna do it right now, Boom, and he just keeps breaking through. I put a base out, he keeps breaking through because he's got a good deck and it keeps throwing out good amounts of damage. Luckily, I had a little scout there to get rid of. I scrap it as well. And this is when I know I have to do a little bit of a Hail Mary pass here. Maybe I get something good. Oof, and I do. I get a little draw card. That allows me to cycle through my deck. I sacrifice my 2 Imperial frigates here to draw 2 more cards because when you're this low in health, I know I get it back up to 15 here because I used the cutter. But his deck, we saw what he acquired there. That strong blob card that does 7 damage. Forgot the name of it. He's got a Brain World. He's got things that can just annihilate me. So I know that if I'm going to make something happen, I have to make it happen now. So I'm okay with sacrificing my Imperial frigates to throw out some more cards here just to scramble for whatever I can grab. And also to cycle through the deck, because those scouts were coming, and those were going to be in my next hand. So let's get him out of here. Okay. Boom, and that Brain World is out there again. Oh, and he has another base. He's got a Barter World, right? So now this is looking scary for me. And he's doing 8 damage. I'm down to 7 health. He's got 31. Clear advantage over me. Brain World, if I don't take that out right now, I am toast. And he's got a Barter World, right? So what do we have here, right? We're only going to be able to do 4... 5 damage. Oh, wait, no, actually, with the pairing. Yeah, so we're going to have enough to take out the Brain World. But right now, the way it stands, we're not going to have enough to take out the Barter World as well. And that Barter World could get scrapped for damage, So the fact that I... Actually, let's go back a little bit here, right? Because what I end up doing is... This is key, right? So what I end up doing, actually, is we play the Recycle Center, we play the Corvette. I always like to play a draw card first to see what I'm working with here. We know we're going to have to use these 2 cards because I need that authority. 7 damage is all he needs to wipe me out. He's going to need more because he's got to go through the base, but I only have 7 health. It's not looking good. If we leave that Barter World out, he's got 5 right there. So we need to play these 2 cards, but I'm going to use the Recycle Station to even get rid of the trade bot, because now I need to get things out, and it works out for me. So I sacrifice the scout and the trade bot. We throw out some bases there, and I sacrifice my blue base to get rid of his base, because I need to get rid of his bases. I can't let him have either of those sit out there. And boom, he comes right out of the gate swinging, breaks my defenses, but because I got those 2 bases, look at that, by 4. Okay, so by 1, really. I scrape by the skin of my teeth. And now we're evening things up a little bit here. This is where I start to make a little bit of a comeback. And I just go, you know what? We're going to keep scrapping. We're going to keep scrapping everything we can. We need an efficient deck. I'll grab that little yellow card because I need to make him discard cards. That can be a powerful thing. And again, breaks through the defenses. That Blob Destroyer, very powerful card if you pair with another Blob because it takes out a base for free. He starts acquiring some stuff. Not sure why he would acquire Explorers so late in the game, but I don't think it ends up mattering. And here I go. I got some good damage now. Boom, I just even up the score. And he comes out with his base. He's always throwing out these bases. Gets me down to 6 health. Luckily, I have more bases here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sacrifice even the missile bot, even though it would do some damage, because 2 extra damage is just not going to do it for me right now. I only have 4, 5, 6. It's not breaking through that is not enough. I need to get some serious stuff going here, and I do. So I end up drawing a lot of my blue cards. That gives me a good, healthy amount of authority. Gives me a decent amount of damage too. Breaks through his bases, brings his health down. Now I'm actually in the lead here, and he gets some draw cards. This is where I start, clenching up a little bit because, oh my god, 2 freighters means 2 things to the top of the deck. He's got 11 money coming in with this 1 turn. Throws that big behemoth of an 8-banger right onto the top of his deck. If I don't kill him now, I am done. And luckily enough, I end up drawing enough cards and now this is key, guys. I only drew all these cards and did that amount of damage because I was so aggressive with the scrapping. So that everything that came out right there did some damage and had some synergy. And I actually managed to win that. So you could see that was a back and forth match there. That he had double my health at some point with a much better deck with very, very powerful cards. But I ended up coming through, and that's pretty much because I was able to utilize the cards to their fullest, and I scrapped. I had an efficient deck. Everything that came out worked with it. Work with the other cards in my deck. I didn't bother going blob. It was all Star Empire, Trade Federation, and Scrappy Dappy Do. And that's how it was done. All right, guys, that's it for this one, and I will see you in the next one.